What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy, JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast networking channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew, Shy, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right. Everyone who's tuning in, we thank you for supporting Behind the Bench, subscribing to the channel, and help making the show the best that it can be. And I just want to do a quick recap about last night's game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks. Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, where Dallas was in position to close out the series and advance to the NBA Finals to play for the title against the Boston Celtics. But looks like we're going to have to at least wait one more game. Minnesota, who I knew was going to be much improved this year based on the moves that they made this offseason leading into the 23-24 campaign. Key move, I mean, really, when you get down to it, their improvement was mainly from within. They re-signed Naz Reid, which was huge, and he turned out to have a stellar season, his best season as a pro, winning Sixth Man of the Year. And then with the improvement of Jaden McDaniel at the 3 spot, Karl-Anthony Towns starting the season off healthy, and Rudy Gobert, settling into his second season with Minnesota. And then, of course, the growth of young superstar Anthony Edwards. And I honestly thought Edwards was older than what he is. I was thinking he was more like 24 years old, but he's only 22 years old. And I would say that, he's really stepped up his game this year, and he's going to be a superstar for this league for years to come. I'm not going to get off into who's going to be the face of the league and nothing like that. But the media was so ready to jump up and start comparing him to Michael Jordan that, the talking heads will not let things evolve naturally and take course. They always have to. It seemed like to me, and I'm going to do a quick recap, it seemed like to me that a lot of these talking heads who cover the NBA, when they watch the NBA today, they only do that to compare today's players to yesterday's players. It's really not. I don't get the impression that it's truly for the love of the game and really enjoy watching the NBA, for what it represents today. There's always got to be a constant comparison or taking a jab at past players, and it's really getting old. And really, they need to get out the way. They really need to get out the way, because I don't really think they are fans of the league, like they try to, give the impression that they are. But nonetheless, last night, the Minnesota Timberwolves staved off elimination and forced a Game 5 back home in Minnesota at the Target Center. But a quick recap, Minnesota defeated the Mavericks by the score of 105-100, where Karl-Anthony Towns really stepped up in the second half, and he got hot from behind the arc, and he couldn't miss a shot down the stretch. Big game by Karl-Anthony Towns, who has been playing below expectation compared to the way he was playing early in the playoff versus Phoenix Suns in the first round, and then the Denver Nuggets in the second round. And Rudy Gobert, he gets a lot of flack. But I have to say that Gobert is really solid. He plays good defense. He may not be able to switch up top on pick and rolls, but a lot of big men couldn't do that. A lot of all-time great centers had struggles doing that. So I would say Gobert is solid, man. He has improved from the free throw line compared to years past, although he's been kind of struggling this series. But throughout the course of the season, he's really taking a concerted effort to improve at the free throw line. But he scored 13 points, grabbed 10 rebounds last night. And Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and he hit big shots down the stretch. And Mike Conley, he's steady. And he played big last night. Mike Conley, 14 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and Jalen McDaniel with 10 points. And usually when you're starting 5, everybody score double figures, you have a good chance of winning that game, especially a playoff game. And then Naz Reid and Nickeil Alexander-Walker both tallied 6 points in helping the T-Wolves defeat the Mavericks. And their games, pretty much, actually every game this series has been decided by single digits. So it's been a very competitive series. And on the Dallas side, Luka had 28, 15, and 10, but he struggled shooting in terms of a shooting percentage. And Kyrie Irving had an off night. He did not shoot well at all last night. Only 16 points. Daniel Gafford with 12 points and 8 rebounds. He's been a steady presence for the Mavericks ever since they traded for him. And then Derrick Jones Jr. with 9 points, and then P.J. Washington with 10 points. He had an off night too. He had a real bad shooting night last night. But Jay Hardy tallied 13 points. But I think what hurt the Mavericks last night was the absence of Derek Lively. They missed him. They missed him yesterday. And he has been so vital to the Mavericks' postseason success that, truth be told, I know the two stars of the team, Luka and Kyrie, or your go-to guys, for the most part, to set the tone. But I believe Lively and the way he rebounded and played defense versus OKC in games 5 and 6, his play really was the main catalyst in them coming back and beat OKC, especially in that closeout game when they were down like 16, 17 points. I believe his play, his energy, his athleticism on defense and whatnot, I believe he was the reason why they closed their series out, and they missed him yesterday. So hopefully be able to return back to the lineup for game 5. They're going to need him. And, hey, we have another game to go on, at least one more game to go in these conference finals. What I like about these playoffs is it's fresh, and somebody is going to win their first championship. Whether it's Dallas with Luka, I'm talking about it's the primary, like the number one player on the team for Luka, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota. Well, at the time, Indiana, before they was eliminated in the Eastern Conference Finals, their top player is probably Tyrese Halliburton, but I can make a strong argument that it's Pascal Siakam. And then, of course, the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is pursuing their first championship. So it's fresh, and I know there's been a lot of complaints about the style of play, but I think the reason behind that is because, everything has been so veteran-laden at the expense of young talent. But now with the young talent emerging and taking over the landscape, as each year, moving forward in the future, they're going to get that experience, and the play is going to become more mature. It's going to become more mature. And with the reemergence of the center position compared to over the past decade, this NBA is going to be on point. It's going to be on point. And this is pretty much what I envision this decade to be as we enter the 2020s, where, like I said, I don't think you're going to see one team go to 4 or 5 straight NBA finals. I don't think it's going to be like that for this decade. Each era has its own identity, its own unique representation to the history of the game. And I'm just looking forward to moving past this super team era. But just a quick recap: Minnesota Timberwolves, the T-Wolves, they showed a strong resolve last night. They could have folded and just shut it down. You know what I'm saying? Got ready for as they say, got ready for Cancun, but they stepped up and they stayed off elimination. And going into the series, really, the Dallas Mavericks have been the road team in every series. First round versus the Clippers, second round versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, and this round, conference finals versus Minnesota. So really, Dallas is playing at a real high level, and them trades that they made were stellar trades that is going to set them up for the future. And it's a win-win. Whoever wins this series, it's a win-win. It should be a win-win for all basketball fans who want real competition. It's a win-win for all of us, you know. So, Game 5 tomorrow. We're going to see where it's going to take us. Does Minnesota win and force a Game 6 in Dallas, or do the Mavericks close it out in advance to the finals? We'll find out tomorrow. So, I just want to drop that nugget, that golden nugget. NBA action is fantastic. And until next time, this is JB for BTB Behind the Bench.